Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back, guys, at Magic. This is Hunter, Steven, David, and Shane. Say what's up, boys.
Were you confused about your name? Hey.
What?
You did hesitate there on the intro for a little bit.
No, I was thinking of what order to put you guys in.
What's up, nerds? It's my thing, David.
I don't know how I feel about your thing.
Time. That's his thing, dude. And we are back with part 2 of the multicolored legendary commander grade video of Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. We got the last 7 cards to talk about. So let's just dive right in with the first card, Naomi, Pillar of Order. Naomi, Pillar of Order is 3, a white and a black for a 4/4 legendary creature human advisor. States whenever Naomi, Pillar of Order enters the battlefield or attacks, if you control an artifact and an enchantment, create a 2/2 white samurai creature token with vigilance. I would love to hear David.
Nope, Steven first.
Nope. I'll go first. Because of just what I just saw, I will definitely go first. I think you said the name wrong on this card, and I think it's Naomi Pillar of Sucks.
Okay.
Oh God, I'm going in my head. I'm just like, oh my God, this card sucks. And I just saw what David did, and I'm like, oh no, what did I miss?
It doesn't matter. You're gonna sound like a genius.
Yeah, but anyway, I at the end of the day, I just think that you're paying 5 mana for a shitty payoff. The most you get out of it is maybe 2 tokens if you're able to give this haste. You also have to control an artifact and an enchantment, which at the end of the day isn't that difficult, but I just think that it's too much for shit.
Hey, I'm also going before David too, okay? Because fuck David.
Go ahead.
Why fuck me?
Forgot what I was gonna say. Fuck. Oh, this card sucks.
That's a great. Well done. Proud of you.
Kidding. I'm just kidding. I know why. Okay, so David can't say he likes this card. That's all I'm gonna say. He cannot say he likes this card because it involves attacking, and we all know how David loves attacking. So whatever David's about to say is irrelevant.
I think he's gonna say the same shit we're saying.
Yeah, this card's really bad. I'm gonna say it before he says it too, because I know he's gonna say this is bad. Because, yeah, like you guys said, you need 1 enchantment, 1 artifact, and this commander just to get a 2/2. Not worth, man, at all.
David, tell me.
Okay. I don't like this card because it attacks. You're completely right. It says whenever it enters the battlefield, though, which tells me if you flicker this and are able to abuse those flickers, you're going to continuously make those 2/2 creatures with vigilance, which I feel like is really where you abuse this card. There are a lot of ways, especially in white, for you to be able to flicker creatures and have them exit and then come back in. So I don't think this is going to be too difficult for you to be able to make 5 2/2s in a single turn, if not just straight up go infinite. And at that point, you have 100 billion 2/2s with vigilance.
God damn it! I forgot about teleportation circle.
Nope. David doesn't get to win here. Card sucks. Next.
No, this is actually David always brings up the best points. Flickering this an infinite amount of times is pretty nuts, man.
Oh my God, no.
Now, I will admit that does require a bit of a setup, and it's not the easiest thing to pull off necessarily to go infinite or anything like that in white and black. I don't think this card is as bad as what you have mentioned, though. There's a lot that I don't like about it, but there are some things that I do like about
let him win.
David, you're so right. I forgot that white and black is such a terrible color combo to go tutor and search for cards.
I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to play.
Oh my God, dude, fuck.
I think I'm just gonna go to the grades, and I'm gonna say this is a C because it's pretty solid. Yeah, David, you convinced me. I like this card. It's a C.
Fucking quit, dude.
I'm going last.
I'm going to give this so originally, okay, because I believe in telling the people what I thought. I gave this card a D, but due to what David said, I'm not going to go straight up to a B or an A or anything. I am going to move to a C, and it is because it can be great, but it does take a lot of setup.
I'm gonna give this a D for David's a dick, and end it there.
I think you're in love with me, dude. I'm actually not super high on this card, believe it or not, because it doesn't win the game on the spot. So you still do have to attack in. Even in the case that you make a million tutus, you still have to swing in, which means they got a survivor turn rotation. I do think that this card is much more exploitable than what you've mentioned. Having an artifact in play is pretty much a given in EDH. You're playing tons of mana rocks. The enchantment, I guess that's the hard part, but realistically speaking, you're playing enchantments too. So
You mean like teleportation circle?
yeah, I don't think that this is too difficult to really use. I'm gonna give this a C.
I hate that.
Yeah, this I'm just gonna go. This average is a C. So let's move on.
No. Before we move on, I just want to mention the fact that before I had the opportunity to speak, you were all hating this card.
We're very aware that, and I still hate this card, even though it's not that bad. But I hate it now. Forever, I'm gonna hate this card.
5 mana.
Just wait till we talk about the next one. I'll go last
Okay.
there too.
Oh God, here we go.
This next one is Raiyuu Storm's Edge. Raiyuu Storm's Edge is 2, a red and a white for a 3/3 legendary creature human samurai. It has first strike. It says whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, untap it. If it's the first combat phase of the turn, there is an additional combat phase after this phase. Very cool. I think you can make a lot of attack triggers happen. Also sticks with tribal theme. And as you guys know, I love my tribes. And it's Boros. I also love Boros. So I'm solid with this card, man.
Oh God. So I'm not a fan. I think the only cool part about this is the fact that you do get an additional combat phase. That is cool, but you're still just swinging with one guy the first time. This is definitely Voltron in my mind. Oh God, I hate it, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love it here in a minute.
You're not gonna love it for a minute, I promise you, dude. And I'll tell you why again. Not only does this card need to attack, it needs to attack. Sorry, a card needs to attack alone. Those are two things that David doesn't do. So
It's not the fact that I understand that point, but it attacks alone the first time, but then there's an additional combat step, so then you can swing with all the bullshit David's about to bring up.
don't listen
David,
to him.
go
dude.
ahead.
Don't-
Go ahead, David.
Yeah,
Bring
I'm
it
gonna
up.
say I still
Dude,
don't
I'm getting
think.
a cup of Kool-Aid ready, dude. Come
No,
on.
yeah, you're preemptively jumping overboard, or maybe I am. I don't think it's as good. I think it's cool, and it's like this could go in a deck, but I don't like it being the deck. I don't know. It's dumb.
So
I honestly can't think of something to try to like bolster this to not be good because I'm just trying to talk it down because David's gonna talk it up. I'm doing the opposite. Think about this. Typically, we talk it up and then David shits on it. I'm trying to be David right now and say, no.
I like how whenever I talk up one card, you all lose your shit.
Yeah, we don't like it. It happens all the time.
I'm not losing my shit because you're bringing. Like, here's the thing. Like, what I will say is, I am new to the channel. I started playing Paper Magic more about a year and a half ago, so I have a lot of knowledge when it comes to more current cards. I'm still learning a lot, and that's why I do enjoy listening to David, because David has brought a lot of insight, especially over the years that I've known him, on a lot of older cards and a lot of different combo pieces or better synergies. So that's why when I shit on a card, it makes me upset. Because
Never giving David that kind of praise.
I will give David praise because David has
Never do
helped
that
me.
ever.
David has helped me in Magic, and I will show my appreciation.
Even if there's a fire, I'll never say it.
I will happily take the sword. I am not super high on this guy, believe it or not. I know. He does actually care a lot about attacks. I do actually think that he's still pretty solid, though. So for 4 mana, you get a 3/3 with First Strike, which is a relevant ability. And he triggers on himself. And that's kind of the thing that I care about most here. So with this being a Boros card, I feel like this is an excellent spot for you to put down that Embercleave or the other equipment that you want to throw onto a creature. He makes an excellent target for all of that because this is killing with Voltron damage. I really don't think it's going to be very difficult to get to 21 with him, especially considering he's attacking twice. So long as you're just swinging with him the first time. And I feel like if you build your deck around that Voltron strategy, you're probably going to be doing that pretty often. So ultimately, he is still a combat-focused commander. I am 100% biased on that. I will accept that. But I think he's pretty solid in Voltron.
I think Winota does it better.
I don't think she's Voltron.
She's not, but I think Winota does it better. I've said this in previous videos. I think Voltron is really cool, but it's just scary doing all that stuff to one card.
It's fragile.
It's very fragile, and like I think that's why Winota does it better because like at least with Winota, you don't even have to swing with just her as long as she's on the field. Boom, and you swing with a non-human creature, you're good to go. And then you could whiff, obviously, but if you're looking at the top 6 cards and you're building a pretty solid deck, you're gonna fucking do some damage.
I understand the comparison and that they're the same colors and they're both combat centric. However, I feel like their game plan is very different. One of which is very much so kind of a go wide deck, whereas this could very well be the only creature that I have in the entire deck.
I mean, I see your point, but I mean, it just goes to it. If this is your commander, and I'm not saying this would be the case, but if this is the only creature in your deck, you have to put in so much protection. And there are 3 other people trying to make sure that you're not trying to fucking one-shot them.
I mean,
Are you saying this is a hate generator?
No. Because of the fact that you can only attack one person with your commander each combat step, I don't think this is a hate generator. I think what this is that rabid dog deck where it's going to come in, it's going to attack whoever is the most vulnerable, and then it's going to immediately just continue to relentlessly attack that person over and over and over again until they have died.
So you're gonna generate hate from somebody.
I mean, definitely. Like this. Think about this. You give this thing double strike. You're doing 12 commander damage on one turn. It's kind of a lot.
That's a lot.
That's if they don't block.
You're attacking the player who can't or who hasn't had like the board set up at that point. Bingo. I'm not trying to preach that this is an A or anything spectacular at this point. I do want to acknowledge the fact that yes, it is vulnerable. You have to have your commander in play in order for this really to work. But I don't want to dismiss this card either.
Well, what's your grade for it then, David?
I'm going to give this thing like a C. If we can't do pluses, I originally wanted to do like a C+. I don't think it's a B. I don't think I can get there because it doesn't protect itself. And it is a Voltron strategy. But I do like this card.
I'm also giving it a C. I think it's solid. Like I said in the beginning. I'm the guy that likes to win with combat, so.
Ugh, awful. Ugly. I think going off of what David said, though, I'm going to stick with my original and just say this is a D. And it's because, this is very opinion based on myself, is I hate fragile decks, and I don't like one card being the center of attention.
But your commander's always the center of attention, baby.
Not when I'm going wide, baby.
True. It's a C for me, too.
If I can't have 69,420 zombies on the field, I'm not playing.
This average is a C. Next up, we have another Boros card. This one is Risona, Asari Commander. Risona, Asari Commander is 1, a red and a white for a 3/3 legendary creature human samurai. It has haste It states whenever Risona Asari Commander deals combat damage to a player, if it doesn't have an indestructible counter on it, put an indestructible counter on it. Whenever combat damage is dealt to you, remove an indestructible counter from Risona. Go ahead, Steven.
I'm sorry you had to hear all that
Hate
because
you.
this card's shitty.
Shane made that joke in our
And it went over all your
Spoiler.
fucking heads, and I hate you, so whatever.
spoiler video. Yeah.
Steven, I love your puns.
I swear to
Well,
God.
I am
I'm leaving. I'm leaving, dude.
All right, so let me say this, okay? This card is kind of cool because, like I said, I like low mana cost commanders. So Boros, A+ for Hunter, am I right? But 3 mana, 3/3 with haste, kind of cool, but it's just really shitty.
It's
Yo,
very, very selfish.
Very
this
selfish.
card's kind of cool, dude. But my notes say it's fucking shitty, dude. Lit.
David, you can't change. I'm walking away. I'm grabbing a beer. All right, boys. I'll see you later.
Oh yeah, this is
This
a part
this
where
is
David can't say anything.
yeah, because this card literally is selfish. It gives itself an indestructible counter and then just loses one. Like
I think
not
it's
being
boring. This is a
it's
very
just
boring card.
yeah, it's just uninspiring, really. David, go ahead. Tell me what.
This card is not selfish at all. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna tutor for the Ozolith, and then once you get that in play, you're just gonna slowly give all of your permanents indestructible.
How are you gonna tutor for that real quick?
Yeah,
Reddit
teach us.
might have access to tutors. Okay,
Okay,
this
which
card
one?
sucks. All right.
Yeah, it sucks, dude.
Yeah, no, this card is not good.
Exactly.
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, so let's move on to the grades. I'm giving it an F.
Giving it an
Shane?
F as well. I know, yeah. I'm not even saying the stupid pun that I said because Steven's
Sorry,
better.
Commander.
Steven went to go get a beer. He's also giving it an F, and
First
I'm
of
giving
all,
it an F
I'm
too.
actually not going to give this an F because I just got back from getting a beer and I just thought about something.
Can't wait to hear it.
Fuck.
So
Get an epiphany.
I did have an epiphany. I'm going to give this a D. So not much better.
Oh, sick, dude. So sick.
Cool.
Yo, sick epiphany, bro.
Sick epiphany, bro.
So salty.
David, what are you giving this?
I think I already said I'm giving this thing an F. This
Oh,
is
did
just
you?
not a good card.
We're saying F's across the board, dude.
Well, then
That's in chat, dude.
average
Yeah,
as an F, even with Steven's D.
I mean, I'm just saying.
You mean his epiphany?
Still, it's indestructible. It's a haste and it's a 3/3 with 3 mana.
It's
That's
not
the only-
indestructible.
When you
Sometimes.
swing,
When it deals combat damage, it's indestructible.
yeah, but with haste, you go swing at the only player without anything. 3
They can
mana.
respond before it gets indestructible, bruh.
Anybody can respond to any of the cards we've talked about, bruh. Like,
Yeah, but I'm saying it's not
I'll just
indestructible.
exile
Okay.
it. It's cool. Let's move on. This is Satoru Umezawa. Satoru Umezawa is 1, a blue and a black for a 2/4 legendary creature human ninja. Says whenever you activate a ninjutsu ability, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. This ability triggers only once each turn. It also says each creature card in your hand has ninjutsu of 2, a blue, and a black. This is nuts. Shane, go ahead and start first.
I don't remember seeing this card in the spoiler, but the art is awesome for one. I remember seeing this, so I'll get that out of the way. And then 2, yeah, every single one of your cards now has the ability to come into play and do its thing. What the
For
what?
4 mana.
Why have I not? I don't remember seeing this card.
Yeah.
This card's
was-
crazy.
This was like the original card when they first announced the set before we even started spoiler season.
You could do some nutty shit in Commander with this. So does that mean
Something I mentioned is Blightsteel Colossus. That comes
Yeah.
in with 4 mana. That's a one shot.
that's what I'm saying? Like that means that you can literally play the biggest dumbest shit for 4, right?
Yeah, just all your
As long
Eldrazi's,
as
man.
something right. As long as something's attacking and then you switch with it.
Just
That's
have this be somewhat of a token themed deck with giant things. That's crazy. I like it a lot. David,
Bueller.
go ahead and tell me what you think of this card.
I'm disappointed by this card. Primarily because of the fact that this doesn't synergize with Umezawa's Jitte or Umezawa's Jitte at all, which is
Oh.
one of the best equipment of all time.
What a
I
random
don't
thing to care about.
It's the namesake. It's like this is like the great grandson of like the OG card. So I'm disappointed from that from a flavor perspective. Getting into the card itself here though, I don't know how to feel. I understand, yes, the upside on this, and I feel like the ceiling, honestly, is like the Blightsteel Colossus situation where you one-shot an opponent. I feel like this is a deck, though, that what you're going to want to do is you're going to throw in a ton of flying men, like the 1-mana 1/1s that have flying that can get in and be unblockable. That way you can activate the ninjutsu of it. I just don't know, like, how is this going to play? I feel like there's going to be a lot of situations where you get to cheat in another 1/1 because that's what you happen to have in your hand. This is so dependent on what's in your hand that I feel like it requires a little bit more setup than what the card actually implies. And with the
So,
fact that it's still mana intensive,
Keep going.
I was
I
going
don't,
to
I
say,
don't,
so you're building around it, is what you're saying?
Well, no, dude. Kalia is the same exact thing. But you like Kalia, right?
Kalia. Okay, so one of the distinctions is Kalia. No,
What?
Kalia doesn't. No, because Kalia shoots out
What?
from the hand. This looks at
So
the
does
top 3
this.
cards of your library.
No, the very bottom.
That's
The very bottom of this card is from your hand.
each creature card in your hand has ninjutsu, David.
All right, you're right. I was misreading this card. I'm still not super high on this. I feel like this is one of those decks where it's like A plus B equals C type of thing, where it's like you need the small little creatures, you need the big creatures for you to be able to cheat into play, and you need the things to just make your deck function. And unless you're drawing an equal balance of all 3 of them, this isn't a deck that's going to work. I've built these kind of decks before, and like they just kind of generally disappointed me, where I always feel like I draw too much of one pile over the other. And I mean,
That's
I don't
magic,
know.
baby.
I don't know. At the very bare minimum, like you can still ninjutsu out with this commander. So if you attack in with this, but you're telegraphing your plays. I don't
I
know what
understand.
opponent is not going to interact with you at that point. I mean,
I understand, Davey. But then at that point, it goes back to your thoughts of you're going to hopefully go after the guy that can't do anything about your attacks, right?
yeah, you are. I don't know.
I want to hear what Steve wants to say, though, actually.
I'm so happy right now
What? Why?
because I finally don't agree with David.
Ooh.
Contradictory moment. I do agree with David on some points, but
Wait.
I don't think this card is as bad as David's saying. Yes, you telegraph pretty much your every move, but I think with a lot of the additions of the sagas that are in this set and being able to attack with them, ninjutsu that saga back to your hand, be able to replay it, get that upside. I just think that there's so many opportunities now that it's not even funny. The only reason why I think this card isn't an S tier or anywhere higher is because you do have to pay 4 mana in order to take those cards and put out something. Now, granted, you can cheat something out like Hunter was saying, like a Blightsteel Colossus and one-shot somebody. Very easy to do. You attack with a 1/1 Thopter. Most people don't even blink an eye to not even block it. I think that this card has a ton of upside, but I do think that I agree with David on the fact that it is A plus B plus C equals D, and there's a lot that goes into it, so it's a little bit more intensive of a commander deck.
Don't get me wrong, bro. If you're playing this commander, people are going to block every fucking creature you attack with. I promise.
I mean, I don't agree because, there's a lot of people that play Yuriko and don't block a lot of the stuff there. Like, I think a lot of people are going to look at a 1/1 Thopter and be like, oh, well, he is only attacking with a 1/1 Thopter, but I do think it goes back to what.
Come on,
you were
Steven.
saying.
Come on, Steven. Stop. No.
I'm gonna give a counterpoint real quick. Let's talk about making things unblockable then, right?
There you
Yeah,
go.
Rogue's Passage.
Exactly that.
There you
Rogue's
go.
Passage.
Okay, so you're gonna spend 8 mana for Rogue's Passage on this ability.
dude.
I'd rather spend 8 mana than fucking 12 mana for a Blightsteel.
Dude, you are on Blightsteel's cock right now.
I get it, but like one piece of interaction shuts down everything that you're trying to do here.
That's cool. This runs blue. I'll counter that shit too.
You're gonna counter it after you spent the 4 and expect
Yeah.
that your opponent doesn't have something else back up
Hunter
to like
has infinite
interact
mana.
with you.
Yeah, man. Remember we talked about infinite mana with black already. I think this card's really good, David. I don't care what you say. This card's amazing. Cheating out stuff for 4 mana that costs more than 4 is fantastic.
I mean, there's a really cool sorcery called, I don't know if a lot of people know about it, but Artful Dodge. You guys ever heard of it?
I have not.
Oh,
So
school me,
it
dude.
is a 1 mana blue, and it is target creature is unblockable this turn. The cool thing about this card is it also has flashback for 1 blue.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's only like 25 cents too, which is nuts.
You're explaining. You're adding an extra component to this. I don't even want to do that. If I'm playing this kind of commander, I want to be playing those 1 mana creatures with flying. Those 1 blue flyers that just like it's a 1/1, it'll attack in and it'll be able to ninjutsu. And even at that still requires that I have something impactful in my hand. And that I have 4 mana up, and this thing is in play.
You're acting like blue doesn't give card draw, man. Find the pieces you want. Set up your board. It's like any other EDH game.
This just strikes me very much so as like a card. It's like you have to already be in a solid position in order for this commander really to do anything. He does not play well from behind.
I think this goes to the point that, and this is the one reason why I love David, and this is also the one reason why I hate David. I think that if it's a commander and it's not winning turn 4, there's no play in the deck.
I'm not arguing that at all. If anything, I don't know. The other thing that I want to take into consideration with this is like this is a like cheat big things into play kind of deck. Those decks already exist, and I feel like for the most part, if you're going to go play one, there are better options out there.
David, I will agree with your point, counterpoint, and then I'll be done with this argument. Do those cards have cool art like this one?
No, they don't, Steven.
GG's.
I mean,
GG's.
We're moving on to grades. That's enough of this. I don't think we could talk about the art anymore.
I mean, we can, but
We all think the art's cool. David, do you think the art's cool?
I'm just going to disagree for the fact that I'm just disagreeing here.
Okay, that's fantastic. There's David. What is your grade then, huh?
What a sick opinion.
I'm going to give it a C. I think this is still a solid card. I just don't think that this is amazing because of all the steps that it takes for you to put it together.
And that's where I differ from you because I also don't think it's amazing, but I do think it's better than a C. That's why I'm giving it a B. I didn't say this was A tier.
This card's art is sick. I think it's a B, dude.
I am going to also agree with myself and say this is a B. I think that I see where you're coming from, David, but I think that once this card gets played a little bit and some videos come out and we get to see how cool it is, I think you'll change your mind. And I want a 10-second video on Guys That Magic with you saying that you were wrong.
Whoa.
Well,
we'll make it a
average. The average for this card is a B. Let's move on to Satsuki, the Living Lore. Satsuki, the Living Lore is a green and a white for a 1/3 legendary creature human druid. You can tap it. Put a lore counter on each saga you control. Activate only as a sorcery. It also says, when Satsuki, the Living Lore dies, choose up to 1. Return target saga or enchantment creature you control to its owner's hand. Or return target saga from your graveyard to your hand. Steven, what do we think?
I think this card sucks as a commander. I think we made it a point to already look at the other cards that when this card dies, choose up to one. I think the lore counter on each saga is a cool ability. I'm kind of torn because obviously, green has a ton of ramp. White, Smothering Tide, more ramp. So I think this card is kind of cool in a certain combo piece to where if you don't have to worry about commander tax, sure, you can constantly play this card out. But I think that there's too much thought going on in that aspect. I think this card is not great.
David, what do you think about this card?
I don't know what to feel whenever it comes to this card. I don't actually think I like its tap ability because most of the sagas, I mean, they do good things whenever you put another counter on it. So, does skipping? I don't know. I
You're
guess
not skipping.
You're not skipping, and that was the wrong word. You're, I guess, accelerating, but they're also going to go away at the end too. I guess some of the Kamigawa ones, like they transform, which I guess this helps them out, but most of the sagas don't do that. I don't know. I don't know if I actually want that ability.
I was gonna say they don't go away. A lot of them, the good ones now, they transform into something that's even nuttier. Like the amount of videos that Hunter and I, or the cards we saw, that like the flip side of the sagas, they were nuts.
The only problem is you're stuck in the lane of green and white.
That's true. There are some good ones that are green though.
Green and white is typically like the Enchantress color, so I can understand why it's in those colors.
But it would be hard to kind of just like, I feel like you'd fall prey to the whole. There are 17 shrines. Sorry, Steven. But I feel like that's what we're gonna kind of fall into.
I mean, I said it at the start, and I'll say it again. I mean, like green and white offer really good ramp, but the downside of this card is it has to die. Like, I mean, I don't agree with the fact that its upside is from death. I think the fact that if you're willing to ramp just to replay your commander and pay the commander tax over and over again just to get the upside, I think you're gonna have a shitty time playing this game.
Okay, so after doing research, there are 23 sagas that are green and white in all of Magic's history.
23 shrines. I shit you not.
23 sagas.
So how many of those sagas will flip into a creature that is like relevant?
How many of those sagas are green white?
Only the Kamigawa ones transform though, right?
Right.
I don't remember any of them beforehand.
Yeah, it's a new thing.
I mean, granted, there are some really good sagas that don't flip. They just get like,
Yeah, but how many of those sagas are green white?
I don't know. I mean,
I just told you all the sagas in Magic's
sagas?
history. 23. No, classes are not sagas.
Okay, never mind. That sucks.
Yeah, I don't want to keep talking about this shitty card.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
All right,
next
let's move on to grades. What do you think, Steven? What's the grade?
I'm gonna give it an F.
Okay.
I'm also joining you there.
I originally gave it a D. I originally gave it a D, but after shitting on it this much, I just can't give it a fucking D. I gotta give it an F.
I don't know. I feel like I don't like this card regardless of what I feel like, to be honest. Okay, actually, let's just start there. I don't know if I want any of its abilities to do anything. It's an F. Fuck it.
I was gonna say we're in some weird like melancholy David right now. This is weird. I think it could be a D. It's still relevant, but I don't know how to use it. How about that?
Well, the average we're giving it is an F. This next card is Tameshi, Reality Architect. Tameshi, Reality Architect is 2 and a blue for a 2/3 legendary creature Moonfolk Wizard. It says, whenever one or more non-creature permanents are returned to hand, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. You can also pay X and a white. It states return a land you control to its owner's hand. 2, return target artifact or enchantment card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. They tried really hard to make this card not good.
Yeah, let's see what Steven thinks.
Steven, what do you think?
So here's my thing. I agree with you just said. I think that Wizards was terrified when they were making this card. I think that they did make this card really good, and then they replaced it with once each turn. Now, granted, obviously, each turn there will be 4 turns for this card to do something, which is I think is the only reason why I rank this card as high as I did. But I think this card's actually pretty cool.
I'm a blue player, baby. I'm with it. I'm saying
You're a spirit player.
I'm a blue at heart, my dude. I'm also a spirit player. Okay, anyways. I know we always talk about the whole once per turn thing. I get it. They need to put the brakes somewhere, but this is a pretty relevant string of text.
Do explain.
Okay. Whenever it returns to your hand, draw a card. So you're probably gonna be bouncing stuff, right?
Mhm.
Or wait, hold on. I was reading that again. I thought it only said creatures you control. So it's kind of cool then too. Think about this. Think about this. Cyclonic Rift. That's a lot of cards to draw.
It says win 1 or more, so you'll draw 1.
It's not a good card anymore.
It has
Yeah.
2 safety valves on it.
Yeah, activate only as a sorcery. That second part. Can't even do it on someone else's turn.
God damn it. I wanted to like this card, dog.
We all did. Watsy was like, you know what? That card might be too good. We're going to make this only as a sorcery. We're going to make this trigger only once.
I think it's because blue players already have way too many fucking toys.
They splashed white.
That's true. That's even more. Whatever, dude.
I feel like we're missing something with this card. So my mind immediately kind of gravitates towards Lotus Petal. So Lotus Petal is an artifact that you can tap it, sacrifice it, and add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, which will pay for the white. And since it costs 0, you can return it on its own activation for this. So you can bounce all of your lands to, I guess, cast and recast Lotus Petal with this. I'm not sure if this is a thing. It's just a synergy that this card has. I feel like we're missing something with this.
You're just going to have it extra mana every time. Lotus Petal.
You're not breaking parity on this. You're spending that extra mana to sink into this ability for the second ability on this card. You're bouncing all of your lands you control back to your hand, which I don't think that you probably want to be doing unless you're winning the game that turn, but
You're just replaying the land, I guess.
not if you're bouncing like 6 or 7 lands.
You're just returning a land.
Yeah. What I'm talking about though is looping this.
Oh, okay. Doing it more than once.
Yeah, the first line of text on this has 2 safety valves of whenever 1 or more, and then only once each turn. The second ability on this does not have a safety valve though, and I feel like there's got to be a way for you to be able to break that. So I feel like we're missing. I feel like we're missing something. I mean, that's what I'm saying. My mind gravitated towards Lotus Petal because it's an artifact that'll put itself in the graveyard and pay for this. I just don't know what to do next with that point. I don't know.
Could you somehow like sacrifice all your land, or like, can you bounce all your lands and just kind of play all your rocks? So then you're kind of like trading lands for. I don't fucking know. This card. I don't know what to talk about. This card.
I feel like if you want to take advantage of this card, you're going to build a very expensive deck.
I don't even know if it has to be expensive or if there is something that's here that I'm not seeing. It's just like the way that this card reads, it's weird. There's the double safety valve to it, and the second ability, I can see how it breaks. I just don't know the card that breaks it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Oh, if there really is a card that breaks it, I just think that it's with being blue and white. I just think that there's a lot of ways to put shit back to hands, and I think that's kind of where the card kind of has some fun with it. I don't think this is like a great commander. I just think this card has like some fun times with it. That's all.
And it's a Moonfolk, dude. Fuck that.
Moonfolks, dude. I love Moonfolks.
I want to get to the next card really bad.
Well, let's go ahead and say our grades for this card. Shane, what do you got?
I'm gonna give it a. Oh man, is it a C? Is it average? Is it D? I guess I'll just go C because everyone's going C apparently.
Yeah, I'm also giving it a C. I do think it's average.
Spoilers there, Shane. I'm gonna give
Sorry,
mine
I
an
didn't mean to do that.
apprehensive C.
Sorry.
I feel like this honestly should probably be like a B. I just feel like I'm missing it, and without me knowing what it is that I'm missing, I feel like it's a C.
And with that, the average is a C, because I'm giving it a C as well.
Hey, good job, Steven.
Hmm.
Yeah, average C.
Is that what it feels like? God, that felt good.
This next card is Tatsunari Toad Rider. Tatsunari Toad Rider is 2 and a black for a 3/3 legendary creature human ninja. It says whenever you cast an enchantment spell, if you don't control a creature named Kaimi, create Kaimi, a legendary 3/3 black and green frog creature token with whenever you cast an enchantment spell, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. It also has another ability. You can pay 1 and a green or blue to have Tatsumi, Toad Rider, and target frog you control not be blocked this turn, except by creatures with flying or reach. Very weird.
Oh my god, that last text. Dude.
It's a very weird card.
I don't know why. I mean, not the. I don't want to go first.
Okay.
I think
how
that
about
Hunter and I
Enchantress
shouldn't go
Frogs,
first.
dude?
We shouldn't go first yet because Hunter and I have information about something that we've seen that makes us. We just can't talk first. David.
You're holding out on me here, then, apparently. I
Yeah.
love the fact that this is a Sultai legendary. That opens up a lot of things that you can do with it. I don't know. I feel like you probably just want to like play an enchantment, make a frog, sacrifice the frog for something, play another enchantment, make the frog, and then I'm looking at like a potential out with this is that this is maybe an infect finisher because there is an enchantment that at least does that where you're giving it to the frog or you're giving it to this commander that you're going to make unblockable. I just don't think I want to play Sultai enchantments. I think I would rather play a different color pairing for this.
I think this is a very good card. I see. Shane alluded to seeing this card in action. We saw a Game Nights episode where Jimmy Wong used this card and absolutely went off in a turn. It does a lot of damage to your opponents. You get those low to the ground enchantments out in the field. You're really draining your opponent's life with Bastion of Remembrance. Also in play. It's a lot.
And
I mean,
the butcher dude.
And the Meat Hook Massacre.
It was nuts.
you're describing any kind of like drain or aristocrat style deck at that point, then.
Right. And you
Yeah,
don't have
but
to
with
sacrifice that
Kami
frog, by the way.
also does the same thing. Kaimi.
Keep the frog alive. Don't sacrifice it.
Mm-hmm.
Steven, what's up, dude?
I mean, I didn't watch the Game Nights episode. I'm sure I'll watch it before I go to bed tonight. But sorry, hold on.
Jesus Christ.
But you know, with that being said, I understand David's point on Sultai, but at the end of the day, I think only adding colors can benefit you. So not just being mono black here, but having green and blue, especially having access to those enchantments, I think can only really help. You know, at the end of the day, this is a 3-mana 3/3 that can give unblockable, and when you play an enchantment, not only do you get the enchantment upside of whatever you're playing, but then you also get another 3/3, and that is to me value beyond belief. You guys brought up the fact that this is basically like Bastion of Remembrance in itself, and then if you have Bastion of Remembrance on the field too, you're just doing double that. I think this card can take off greatly, and I really do enjoy it.
The comparison that you're making there, though, with Bastion of Remembrance, like you need a sack outlet in play with this as well. Like I can understand that, yes, if you get a board state in play, then this card can do things, but I do still think this requires a significant amount of setup, and this is something that your opponents are going to see coming because it's taking 2, 3, 4 turns for you to establish that board.
Or one. There's a way to go off in like one turn, dude. It's fucking nuts.
I mean, you're either waiting until late game or you're making an infinite amount of mana, which, given this color combination, I'm assuming you're using like Dramatic Scepter or something.
He.
I mean, I don't know. We don't have to talk about that. We don't want to exactly, but
No,
Let's
we
take
don't
it
need
to be
to.
done.
We're talking about the card itself. I think it's really good. Yeah, just make this an Enchantress deck. I think it's actually really sweet.
Without access to white, though, I feel like you're missing a lot of the really good Enchantress cards that actually make Enchantress really hum. Like a lot of the draw engines in Enchantress are green-white.
It's funny you say that because I think a really cool Enchantress commander is maybe like a Shrine commander.
my God, you had to make it full circle. I swear to God.
It's full circle from here. Steven, what is your grade for this card?
I'm giving this a B. I think this is a solid card. I think it brings value just as the card is 3 mana, 3/3. Obviously you're building around this card for the deck, and the upside of getting the 3/3 whenever you play an enchantment. I'm sorry, you know what? I won't even say that. Whenever you cast it, so it doesn't even have to hit the fucking field. I think this is great, and it does my favorite thing, which is it hits each opponent, not just the target.
Shane?
I'm gonna say this is a B as well. I think that I want to kind of play with this. I don't know. I kind of feel like I want to build this deck just to try it out. It seems fun. It seems kind of. I'm gonna say the word straightforward, and I hope that doesn't sound dumb. But like, I'm gonna just play this card, and then I'm gonna play. It's kind of like, okay, I'm gonna jump around a lot. This is gonna sound really scatterbrained. It's almost like stacks to an extent, right? Because I'm playing a bunch of enchantments, and I'm gonna just take over the board with like those, I guess. It's like that just sounds really fun.
Okay.
No?
Here we go.
What do we got? What do we got, Dave?
I don't think that Sultai is probably the color combination you want to be in if you're trying to go in for stacks. I think that there are better combinations out there. Black is pretty solid. Blue can be pretty decent. Green offers a couple of pieces that are kind of niche.
I agree.
I look at this more of the Aristocrats vibe, of which you have honestly some very top tier commanders out there that compete in that space. And I don't think this is more playable than them. If anything, I feel like this is a little bit more fragile and requires a little bit more of a setup. I'm not actually sold on this. I mean, I understand how you can like shotgun somebody for like 8 damage in a single turn, and that's cool. But this isn't a commander to me that like really utilizes the Aristocrats vibe where you're just blasting through and you're draining your opponents for 1 million.
So
I'm gonna give it a D. I think it's a lot more fragile than, I don't know. I'm gonna give it a D. I think it requires a lot of setup.
I'm giving it a C. I love this card. I really do. And Shane, I really hope you do build this. I would love to see it. With that, the average of this card is a C. And with that, it is our final card. We're done. That is it. We have finished the commander grades for all of the legendaries of this set. We had 39 commanders we went over a course of 4 videos. We did it.
Pretty sure it's 40.
We
It's
did
39, Steven. 39.
Why is it at 40? Oh, because you have the text box for the begin. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, don't include that.
You're dumb.
it.
I hope you
Wow.
guys like this video. If you
If
did,
guys like
leave
this video, make sure you pay attention to Shrine Commanders.
Yes.
He's got fucked.
I'm gonna go ahead and take my opportunity to talk over Hunter now.
Uh,
Continue.
No, that's actually all I got.
Oh,
If you guys like this video, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow us on our Instagram and Twitter. That is @GuysThatMagic. Until the next video, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
hi nerds. Maybe that's my thing.
Yeah.